Russ Peterson here with the right side electric start installation video. You must be a capable old Harley mechanic and fabricator and must watch the How It Works video prior to installation. I will not cover 12-volt conversion here. I will not give a step-by-step of the oil tank or clutch work because a skilled installer has this knowledge. I will give enough information so that things make sense when the installer has the parts in their hands. What I will focus on is the correct installation of a right side electric start on your 4-speed transmission. And remember, no factory parts will be harmed in a 1937 to 1964 conversion. And yes, it fits the late model case. Although today, what we're working with is we'll cover all those models through 64 because we have this hand clutch duo glide here on the lift for conversion. And also, we have my rigid frame panhead with the rocker clutch. And that platform is a close match to the knuckleheads and the flatheads. Okay, let's get started. Number one conversion issue is clearance. Clearance for the Sportster style starter motor, 1991 and up, XL starter motor on top of the transmission. Either your choice of oil tank or my custom old style wraparound, it must be mocked up before we can even begin to work on the transmission. We will need to fabricate the right mounts according to the model, the duo glide or the rigid. So we're going to have to drill, shape, cut, a little welding. So there's a fabrication work here with mocking up the oil tank, and most importantly is the positioning, and in our case it's under the tank, not on the side, because this tank is just slightly wider than the factory tank because we have the big 12-volt battery and a little airspace. This will weld on under the tank, and this way we can closely match this to our primaries and the chain guard, of course, in case of the rigid frame, so that we can use the correct, not included, hardware. We will tack weld this tab to the tank while the tank is installed and mocked up, and securely weld it later while the tank is in the frame and fit as close to the top rail as possible. The tab positioned, we will go ahead and engineer the electrical, the battery cables, the clutch cable. We will leave the tank in place while we do a trial fit of the right side starter itself and the starter motor. Tight fit, and we must make sure everything is correct before we finally can remove the tank later, securely weld the tab, and finish the tank. Paint or your preference. The next step is to start the prep work for the installation. So what I'm going to do is battery first. We'll remove the battery, the floorboard, the exhaust, drop the fender out of the way so we can remove the oil tank, its mount, and the lines, remove the clutch cable, and finally we'll remove the kicker cover itself. I'll then do the work with the oil tank, get it mocked up and mounted, positioned, everything engineered in the frame. After I do that work, we'll return.